does the fresh fade and immediately throws the hat on.
You gotta listen, bro. When you get the fresh fade and you throw a 5950 on,
It's different.
it's different, bro. We're recording. We're live.
Oh, we're back. My boy be hitting the record just out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wasn't even ready.
Back like a crack addict. Let's go.
Yeah, so we're back.
We back.
We like to do our, I guess you could call them solo episodes, me and Frankie.
Oof.
But this time I was like, let's do a movie episode. You like movies, right?
Yeah, bro. Like, listen, I'm still doing Redbox.
Bro, no, you're not.
No, I'm not. But I see a Redbox.
Oh my god!
I see a Redbox and I'm like, this shit still goes, bro.
Dude, that is so funny you say that because I went to Walmart and
You saw Redbox?
this dude's at it. He's like, should I get this one and that one? And I was like, I looked back like, what is he getting?
He's going hard.
They were getting like 3 Redbox movies.
Going
bro.
hard, bro.
I was like, I didn't know that was still a thing. But anyways, we decided to do a movie pod today, and I had to bring on my boy. The first podcast that I ever was on.
Wow.
They hit me with that bug, so
Yeah.
that's probably why we're here today.
One of their best performing podcasts, right?
Yeah, one of their best performing podcasts.
Damn.
And one of my favorite podcasts out of Arizona. This was
Nice.
the only one that I would watch every time it dropped, or
Rock
listen
with.
to, I should
Nice.
say. So we had to bring him on to talk some movies. My boy, Nate.
Oh shit! I forgot about the crowd noise.
sir.
We got sound
What's up,
effects,
bro?
my
That's
dude.
fire.
How you feeling? How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good. Obviously we were talking just like friends.
Bro, relax.
Relax.
G.
We're done.
Go hard. No, feeling good.
Is it
I'm
on
excited
still?
as a fan, of the pod.
I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, man, thank you.
You guys been going hard too.
We've been trying to. What's up? What's up with? Oh, I didn't even say the name, but the name of the pod is None of This Really Matters.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with the pod, bro? What's going on?
So we went first. It was a break,
Mm-hmm.
and then we were like, all right, we've been going. I forgot how many episodes we had, like 80,
83, I
Wow.
think.
something like that.
Over what span? Like time span?
From
like a year and a
we started
half,
in
right?
2021. Maybe around the middle to like May, June,
Yeah.
and then we went until I remember like November, December 22.
Yeah.
And then we were just going hard on that, just like every week, never missed a week, I believe.
Wow.
And then they were
How
like,
hard
you know
was
what?
that?
It wasn't really. I mean, it wasn't really that hard because it was with my sister and my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is engineer. Sound
Shout out to
engineer.
Rob,
Shout out
my
Rob.
boy, and shout out to Amanda.
Shout out Rob and Amanda, the real ones, bro. They did like 90% of the work, and all I had to do was show up and
Yeah.
talk about movies.
You were
Like,
the talent.
yeah, I guess, and just watch. Like my part was watching the movies, because there was some episodes where I'd be like, a week before I'd be like, hey, we're gonna be talking about this, so watch this movie, so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I show up, I'm ready to go. They didn't watch shit, and then I'm just like, and it's still cool, and
Yeah.
people like, people still fuck with it, but yeah, that was mainly the pod for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, all right, I'm gonna take a break. It was my idea. I was like, all right, we're gonna take a break because it was like the holidays. It was like December. I was like, there was just a lot of shit kind of going on, and then after a break, and then Amanda and Rob are now living in North Carolina, and so it was just, I don't know, trying to figure that out of like trying to bring it back. But we were just talking before this about how doing this is I'm probably gonna try to do a solo one, which might be a little weird for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's what I was telling you. I kind of selfishly got you on this so that you can maybe catch the bug again. Like, I can get back to this.
Like prepping to being like, because obviously I watched some movies in preparation. I don't know if you want to say who we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing Tarantino, your favorite.
Yeah.
Quentin
We're watching
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. I watched like 3 of his movies in the past few, like all week. And that's what I would do for the old pod. And doing this while I was preparing, I was like, oh shit, this is what it's like, watching movies for a reason,
For something.
yeah. And I was just like, instead of just watching a movie for the sake of like watching it, and enjoying it, I was like, oh shit, like getting ready to talk about it in a way, but at the same time also enjoying it. And I was like, oh shit, I miss this feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, I might.
How's it feel to get like, the mic obviously you said headphones was something like you didn't really wear too much, but like just kind of being in the whole
being
setting.
in the space, it was definitely, it brings it back because I
Nice.
was like seeing the mixer,
Yeah.
seeing the headphones on. I'm like, oh shit, we actually the ring light and shit. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh shit, we got the
Oh, and speaking of the
setup.
space,
Oh, yeah, we
shout
gotta
out
give
to
a
my boy
shout out.
Alan.
shout out to
Alan.
this place.
Hangar
this place
9.
is fire. I've never been here before.
Yes, so this is
Hangar
a
9.
vintage shop over here on Shea. I guess it's like Scottsdale area.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Alan. If y'all need any vintage, come through. He let us use the shop before he opened. So
Fire.
Men,
place
women,
is
and
amazing.
kids.
yeah, this
Got the
place
whole
is
gamut.
dope, man. But yeah, so obviously we want the pod to come back. So hopefully that does come back.
Yeah.
But
I think
today,
after this for sure.
all right, dope. And then like we were saying, let's get into Tarantino. But before we do that, one of the big things that you guys always talked about on your pod was Letterboxd.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody that doesn't know what Letterboxd is, let them know, bro.
So Letterboxd, my best way of describing it was like, it's like a user friendly IMDb. So where it's like when you go on IMDb and be like, oh, that's who this is. Let me look at what else they've been in and who directed that movie. And go. You just fall. For me, I fall down rabbit holes of being like, oh shit, they wrote this, and this person was a cinematographer, and I just like go hard. And I end up having like a list of like 10 movies of like, okay, I need to watch these for the next
From that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and then so Letterboxd is dope because you can do that, but also log what you watch. And you could leave reviews. You could read other people's reviews, and that's why like I always like make fun of it. Like when me and my lady are watching, TV or some shit, and you see the commercials where it says like 100% Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't mean shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, or people saying like 5 out of 5 critics reviews, and like none of that means shit, bro. But when you're on Letterboxd, it's people who have the app, and if it's rated fucking a 4.5 out of 5, you're like, oh shit, this is a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
But if it's fucking 1.9 or some shit, you're like, this is probably ass.
Yeah.
And
it's usually pretty accurate.
And it's usually accurate unless, but saying whether a movie's good or bad is also doesn't mean anything. So that's why it's whole like when someone says, nah, I don't really like this movie, and then you watch it and you're like, I kind of fucked with it. So
that's the only thing I don't like about Letterboxd is that it's out of 5. I feel like that's such a small amount. I think you need 10, like how IMDb does.
Yeah.
But it does like,
but it makes
make you rate it like,
and you could also do the half, like
yeah,
the like 3.5, 4.5. And I'm pretty like stingy. I don't want to say stingy because I like a lot of movies. Like I love watching them. But like a 5-star movie, you got to be.
Is there any reasons? Probably not.
He's hitting 2s and 3s all day.
I'm just like, oh, it was all right. It could have been a little better. But recently, a 5-star movie that came out recently.
It's been rough lately, bro.
Maybe Dune 2.
5? Damn.
4.5, 5.
And that's coming from someone it's a real critique.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because it's fucking fire. You saw it?
Twice.
I saw it twice too.
Yeah.
You watched it in the theater?
Yeah. I saw it once in like a regular theater, and then the second time I watched it in IMAX.
Oh, IMAX. Yeah.
IMAX
Blew it out?
Kills it, bro.
Really?
It's literally like a lot of new movies now, like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's a 5-star.
Ooh, I haven't seen it.
Like Oppenheimer's great. And people, obviously the internet's going to be the internet and be like, it's just dudes talking, which it is, which how many movies are not dudes talking? You know what I mean? But Oppenheimer's fire. Barbie was fire.
Really?
Yeah, Barbie
didn't
was
see that
funny
either.
as fuck. I loved Barbie.
Barbie?
You didn't fuck with Barbie? Or you didn't watch it?
Did you watch it?
I didn't even watch it, bro.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
Barbie's
even watch it.
funny
bro.
as fuck. I loved it.
Okay.
And it was deep. You know what I mean? Like it was actually saying something, not corny, actually funny. And watching it in the theater, like there's a thing about watching movies in the theater to where like when you hear other people laugh or react to something or do anything, you're like, oh shit, like it makes you feel that more. It makes you laugh a little harder, or it makes you cry a little harder, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
You cried on Barbie? Is that what you're saying?
No, I cried to a movie. I cried in the movie theater before.
Damn, I don't know if I have. Have you?
I'm just not that. I am into some movies like they
You almost
really.
cried on the last pod.
No, dude, I got. Man, I'm
You
about to
got
cry right now thinking about it. No, just kidding.
You got
No,
emotional, but
yeah,
not
that
in
was
a
an emotional
movie?
time. But like movies, it's very rare where I get really, really like emotionally connected
Invested.
with them. Yeah, but every once in a while, yeah, I'm not gonna. There is some.
Yeah, I haven't cried to every movie. Like even a movie is sad, it's not like it's gonna make me cry. But there's been movies that are not sad at all. Like I remember last time you were on my pod, we were talking about Quentin Tarantino. We were talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and how there was one time I watched it. I cried twice to that movie.
You know what I almost cried? Good Dinosaur. You ever seen that movie? No, have you seen that movie, Good Dinosaur?
Yes.
That shit's sad as fuck,
The
bro.
Disney one?
Huh?
Is that the Pixar one?
I think it is, but yeah, it's basically.
I don't think.
Bro, did you cry?
If we're thinking about the same movie, I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
If
It's where he loses his dad, like in the beginning, and he has to go back home and tell his mom that his dad's gone. So he feels like it's all on him, you know?
Like, yeah, he's the reason why he lost his dad. Hey, bro, before you sit here and give it a 2-star, go watch Good Dinosaur and tell me you don't cry.
What do you give it?
No, it's just a good movie. I would give it about 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
But emotionally, we were talking about like,
Yeah.
you know what I
So,
mean?
That's what I loved about their pod, and we've talked about this on their pod, is that so his taste level is so high because he can break down the cinematography,
His
like
taste
who did
level?
who did the score, like everything, every little thing
Yeah.
he can break down.
Uh-huh.
And then Rob
Rob be like, "Shit's ass."
Rob will be like, yo, this shit fucking sucked, bro. And this fool's all breaking it down.
Yeah.
And then Amanda was like kind of in the middle, you know, she was like the
That
voice
was
of
the-
reason.
That was the cool part of the show was that my sister was there to be the in between where she saw
gotcha.
both sides.
Yeah.
and kind of.
And so that's what was dope about it is like you're hearing someone like telling you all
Movie
this
buff.
yeah, movie
Like,
buff,
movie
and then
buff.
someone just like us, like, nah, bro, that
Nah,
wasn't
it's
it.
ass.
Someone that just watches
Which
movies
is
just for
the
the fun.
daily
But the thing
struggle of-
is,
Yeah.
he's
trying
not
to-
just someone that just watches movies. Like he loves, they call them B movies, where they're like movies that are on TV and shit.
Yeah,
like that was his thing.
Like I fuck with like Fast and Furious and shit. Like I watched the first Fast and Furious probably 1,000,000 times in my life.
It's a great movie.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah. What
But,
about the
like,
last one? The one where they
Didn't even watch it.
no. What about the one where they send off where he passed away?
Oh,
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah, that's sad. Didn't cry to
but
that.
did you cry?
Nah.
what about
You
the
didn't
last?
even
R.I.P.
cry?
though. R.I.P. I cried when Paul Walker died.
What
I
about
don't
the
think I
last one
cried.
that
I
had
think
the
I was really
dinosaurs?
sad though.
You're
Oh.
sad. Like in real life?
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I was sad.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
I ain't gonna bring up any dirt, but I heard he liked them youngsters before he passed.
Bro,
That's not true.
let's not do this.
I'm
bro.
just saying.
I don't think
bro.
that's true.
I don't know. But you might want to hit it up on what's that website called?
Letterboxd. Hey, I heard.
Hey, I heard. Oh, that was a cool thing too. Is they would always do funny, funny letterboxed reviews.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
just look them up and read them, or what?
Yeah, there's some shit. There's like a really popular one was for the Joker. You guys seen the Joker movie?
What'd you think about that one?
Joaquin?
I thought that movie's fire too.
What would you give it star wise?
4.5.
I agree.
I'd
with you.
say 4.
Yeah. I would go 4.5, dude. That shit was insane. The acting was just crazy.
No, Joaquin Phoenix killed it. Deserved the Oscar.
Yeah.
But like
no 5-star deserves the Oscar. What? Why not a 5? I guess I'm just wondering how you're rating at this
for
point.
me, Joker specifically,
Right.
It takes place in the 70s in New York City, but when you watch it, the storyline is like or I should say, not the storyline, the character arc is literally Robert De Niro's character in Taxi Driver. It's the same exact thing, and then the story is Martin Scorsese's other movie called King of Comedy.
Yeah.
It's the same movie. Like
Gotcha.
if you watch, I don't know what it's streaming on, but if you watch King of Comedy with Robert De Niro, you're watching the Joker.
Really?
And so it's the same movie, same thing. But what I love about Joker is that it's paying homage to that. It's not like Quentin Tarantino is a master of stealing. Like Tarantino said himself, like, I don't borrow, I steal. And
Gangster.
so he like and what Todd Phillips, the director of Joker, did, it was kind of pay homage to that 70s New York City.
Because he had De Niro in it.
Yeah, he had De Niro in it. It was Scorsese like in its veins, and so that's why I loved it. But it's like it's not necessarily the most original thing I've ever seen. But I would say 80% of those 4 stars is Joaquin Phoenix.
Ooh, yeah.
Like,
and
he's
Killed it.
Killed it.
And a certain level is that score, bro. Like
It's
everything,
amazing, dude.
man.
Also deserved the Oscar. That won an Oscar too.
That was a good one.
That was an amazing.
But
one.
you're right, because after I watched Joker, I was thinking that, so I rewatched Taxi Driver, and I'm like, Bro, this is literally Joker.
Yeah, Taxi Driver is wild.
Yeah,
and
like,
you know, at least a Taxi Driver, and for me now is a comedy movie because it's like today these fucking dudes, these alpha dudes who work out and fucking you gotta buy crypto and shit. That's literally the modern version of a Taxi Driver.
That's
these
true.
people who like are just stuck in their own head.
Yeah,
and just being like, all these fuck these women, dude.
Real quick, can you give us a little hookup, a little download of where you can stream some movies if they're, obviously they're difficult to find, or do you find them on that website? There's links?
There's a good streaming service that I have. I have like an Amazon Fire Stick, but you could get it on like Roku and shit. But there's an app called Canopy with a Kanopy. And if you have, it's free. Like if you have a library, like all you have to do is like go online, get a library card for like Phoenix Library or some shit, and that's your login. And then you have like, bro, they have all of A24 movies on there. They have because it's Canopy's a streaming service for film students. Oh. And so like all you need is a library card, and then you can watch like foreign films, fucking like independent documentaries, all the A24 movies because A24 is independent. Yeah. And so you watch all this shit. So that's a good recommendation.
Holy shit, good question, bro. I didn't even know that.
So Fire Stick.
Yeah, Fire Stick
or can
Roku,
you go online and do it
probably
as well?
Online.
Okay,
yeah,
Canopy with a K.
Yeah.
Get you, your library card.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Canopy.
Yeah, and
Canopy's fire.
And then you just log in. I just got my library card the other day.
Hell yeah.
I took my little one. We took our little one to the library. And they do like we got some books, and then my girl they have like little classes for kids. And so like they'll do like little dancing and stuff like that. They'll read books and they act like a robot and stuff like that. And so just the other morning we try to take her to the library over there in at Chavez. There's one right next to it. And
just trying to tire her out. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, that's all we're doing. Yeah. So the day that she didn't have school, we just went up there and spent like an hour and a half and just let her kind of. And then they have like a little kid area where there's like little toys. There's little kids there, and she likes to play.
Damn, we have a library walking distance from my house, and I haven't taken her yet, so I got to do that.
Yeah, you just got to see what they have.
Huh? Both of you guys have kids.
Yeah. So that's what we were saying. I took her there, and she was ready. But we were like, hey, let's get a library card so we can get some cards. It's been, dude, I don't even know when's the last time I've been to the library before. Yeah. As you know what I mean? As a kid or anything like that. Like, I don't have a card anymore. So I just walked up to the desk. I was like, can I get a card? She was like, give me your ID. Boom, boom, boom. And then now it's quick. And now it's self-checkout. So we just went to the little thing.
You have a self-checkout? That's
fire. Yeah, but it's 2024, bro.
Oh, I guess that is.
What are you talking about?
You know what I always think of when I think of the library? Matilda.
Oh,
you remember that? When she would go to the... Yeah, have you seen Matilda?
I've seen that movie like... As a kid, like, oh my god,
so many times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So when she would go,
what would you rate that one?
Chocolate cake.
Matilda, how many stars?
Dude, you can't keep doing it.
Well, I have to. It's so interesting to me.
The rating off the top. Off the top of the dome, 3.5.
It's like a freestyle. He's like, hey,
every movie I'm gonna ask you, so just be prepared, bro.
Wait, so that's a good question. So when you're rating something or when you're just watching something, what are the things that you use to break down a movie? Because like, let's break it down to music. Like my first listen through on an album, I'm listening to just the sound of it and the feel of it. My second time, I'm gonna listen to the lyrics, see like, is there substance here, like what's it. So when you watch a movie, how do you kind of...
For me, I watch it all the way through. I think I look, for me, like my instinct is for the cinematography and also the storytelling through the cinematography and also the editing, which is like when we go from this shot and cut straight to this one, or like we show, like, I don't know, an example, like I would say the opening shot to Dune, the new Dune Part 2, the opening shot where he's asleep in the sand, and then it's all one shot, it's a oneer, and so you go from, it like pans over to Zendaya, and then she's like, hey, wake up, yeah, and then pans over and you look up and no one's there. And it pans out, and it's just like it's going back and forth for
how's it end?
The
just
movie.
It's kind of fun. Just fuck. I was like, you might as well tell us how it ends.
Crazy.
Are we spoiling movies?
No, not Dune. It just came out, bro. We'll spoil some other stuff.
We're probably gonna spoil Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs has a twist at the end.
Yeah, I mean that's so old. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's what I have to say about that. I don't believe, and people are saying, oh, it's a fucking 30-year-old movie. You can't spoil it. But you have, like, every movie you haven't seen is a new movie.
Right.
I can agree with
So
that.
like if
True.
no one's ever seen, unless like Star Wars is the biggest fucking movie of all time. So if you don't know that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad, like that was a twist, but now everyone knows that Darth Vader is his dad.
Yeah, I am your father is like,
That's the most iconic shit of all time. But now, you know, you can't, unless you show it to a little kid who's never heard of Star Wars.
Right. You don't want them to hear, but yeah. So you're looking at the cinematography. What else?
Yeah, like, so you go through that, and then I
and
guess
I want to. Sorry to cut you off, but I want to point out. I think the reason why you look at it that way, I didn't mention it, but you're a graphic designer.
Yes.
He did all my logos. So any vintage and AZ stuff you've seen, he did it. A lot of my homies.
that banner
did
I
it.
had printed out for you.
That banner that we have behind us all the time, he printed that for me. So yeah, you do a lot of graphic design work. So if you guys need any graphic design work, hit my boy up. What's your Instagram?
It's just Nathan.McGeorge.
Nathan.McGeorge.
Oh, okay. I've seen your
But
comments on that.
It's just my name.
Yeah.
So
And for a while there, I want to put this in there. I think when you started doing vintage, I created your logo, and then because I created yours, I did your some of your flyers. Bro, for a second there, I was doing like everyone's logo and everyone's flyers for a good like 6 months.
yeah.
So you got a lot of work.
Yeah, it was
lot
it
of
was pretty
work.
fucking sick. And that was when I started, because I've been doing graphic design since we're about to go into graphic design now. But since like since I was in high school, I think I was a senior or junior or senior in high school. And then because I took like this digital photography class, and then we used Photoshop in that class, because it was mainly just like teaching like the basics of photography, but it was more just like how to edit these pictures, how to do like weird effects on them or whatever. But I really gravitated towards the Photoshop part of it. And then I would like end up going, you know, during lunch, I would just go into the classroom and just start fucking making shit. Because I really like the pen and pixel, like Swishahouse covers, or the Cash Money Records covers, or the
Wanted to figure out how to make those.
the No Limit Records covers and shit. I was just, I want to do that. I want to create shit that looks like that.
collage looking thing.
Yeah, it just looks fire. And then it went from that to like, you know, like the banner type text, and then going from that to like creating logos, to doing some shirts, not a lot, but I've designed a couple shirts. Doing shit with my brother with Stolen Candy, and just doing shit like that here and there. But then I kind of just stopped in like middle of 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and I was like, what brought me to go harder was watching movies, like in the middle of fucking quarantine, and just being like, I want to create posters for these movies, like the way, not just like a one that summarizes what it's about or the vibe of it, but like kind of the weird like feeling of the movie, like to where when you see the poster that I make, that's the feeling you get when you watch it as well. And then so from doing that, and throughout all the pandemic and shit, just selling movie posters, and like people, oh, can you make this one? Can you make a poster for whatever movie? And then designing it for them, and then really going hard on logos, which I've never done. Like, I want to say your logo was the first logo I ever made. Like, it was kind of a risk you choosing me.
Yeah,
but
sure.
like, it worked out.
No, yeah, and me and Frankie talk about that all the time. Like, we're big on putting people on. You know, like if we can help people out that can help us, like I love it. You know,
Connecting with everybody.
Connecting with everyone. So yeah, when it was a no-brainer, I loved everything that you were doing. So when I was like, I'm gonna do a logo, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna hit you up. And then once you were like, bro, everybody's hitting me up for logos, I'm like, let's go.
And like doing
bro.
cover art for people. Cover art was the main thing that was like, I want to do cover art for people, album covers. Because I was really going hard on, you know, collecting vinyl records and shit, and looking at all these covers from like 70s, 80s, whatever. And then being like, I want to have like a vinyl record cover of like my own shit.
Yeah.
And then like just doing that, making covers for people, and then so many of like just not like the albums never released, the singles never released. And I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. And then some of my shit's like on SoundCloud, or, you know, it's dope when the song is actually like on Spotify, which happens quite a few times. But there's been more times where it's like, oh no, we're
Doesn't
not doing
come
an
out.
album. One of my favorite album covers that I've ever designed isn't even out, and it sucks so bad. Like, I have to show people. I'm like, bro, look at what I designed. It's not out yet. I don't know when the fuck it's gonna come out. But
Can you put it out? Like, can you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I was gonna say maybe we'll pop it up, but like they'll probably be pissed about.
I can show you though after. Like,
Yeah.
but it's super dope. But that was like, I mean, that was like 4 years ago, I think.
So yeah,
I
probably
made
never
it,
coming
and it's
out.
probably never coming out. But it was fucking dope though.
But yeah, we So the reason why I brought that up is because I want them to know that's kind of how you see movies.
It's a visual thing.
Yeah.
It's colors, it's lighting and everything, and that's why, on the podcast, if you watch the visual podcast, you notice that it's pretty much different lighting every single episode, because I'm just like, no, change it to this, change it to, like, it was never like a consistent lighting setup, because I was just like, I like this better, or like it was mainly on a feeling. I was just like, no, I want it to be a bright, thing. But and then there was other episodes where it was kind of dark and there was like a couple lights on and shit like that. So it's always just like a feeling. And and another thing with watching movies, like there's a time, like the first time I watched Dune, I was like, this was dope, but like I don't think I really like felt it. And then when I was like, I'm gonna watch it again though. So I watched Dune again, and I was like, oh, this is what I needed. Like this is exactly what I thought it was the first time I.
Can you watch Dune on Canopy?
Nah.
No, bro.
Damn.
It has to be out, I think.
It's got to be on the black web or some shit now. Some bootleg shit.
But I agree with you there. Like, anybody that drops these reviews like right when the movie drops, I'm like, bro, you gotta watch it twice minimum. Watch it twice before you say anything.
Yeah. There's very, very few times where I'll watch a movie and I know exactly how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Like the last time, that movie Past Lives that just came out, the A24 movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Amazing. Bro, so that's a 5-star. That movie's so fucking good. That's like probably top 5 of the year last year.
Oh, damn.
Sure. I actually have a list of the top 5 movies.
Oh,
damn. 2023.
Of 2023?
Yeah.
Do you? Did you? You haven't even mentioned it, huh? Because you haven't had your pod.
Nah.
2023 was rough because they were going through the strikes. So,
the strikes.
Yeah. So like,
which is also going to affect this year too. That's why Dune came out just now. It was supposed to come out in November.
Okay.
That would have been movie of the year.
And that'd have been crazy in the Oscars, because you had Oppenheimer, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon. You had, and Dune on top of that. That'd have been insane.
I hope you don't have Barbie in this top 5.
No, it's not.
But I know it's
What's
a
wrong with
5-star.
Barbie?
No, I know it's a 5-star from what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit
It's
taken
not 5
back.
stars. I don't think it's 5 stars.
I'm a little taken back by that, but we don't want to go too far inside, because I did hear that a lot of people enjoyed it.
If you didn't watch it, we can't even.
No, I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But it just looks a little like
It's good. I loved it. Here's why I love Barbie, because there was no like CGI. All the sets were like, they made Barbie like it was made in like the 40s or 50s or some shit. Like it looks like the old like Hollywood musical. And it's using like these, matte paintings in the back as the backgrounds. It's like the way it's all set up. It's made like an old Hollywood movie.
Got it. The marketing was A+.
It was great. It was
the
amazing.
marketing for the movie was probably some of the best marketing that I've seen for a movie, like almost ever. Like it was insane the way that they marketed it. So I gotta watch it before I can even say anything. So.
I would recommend it.
Yeah, okay,
I'm not
cool.
saying like, bro, watch Barbie now.
Right.
But like, if you feel like watching it, it's worth it. It's
I'll
worth
watch
a watch.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That is another thing too. I feel like every single movie has something that's dope in it. Whether it's like this movie only the score was good, or this movie only the cinematography is good, or this movie only the acting was good. Like every movie has at least one thing, even if the movie is like really
the movie
shitty,
could be garbage,
but you're like, oh, they did
like this is actually amazing what he's doing. Like, bro, like I was just watching Iron Man 2 the other night, and dude, Robert Downey Jr. is amazing in that movie, bro. But the rest of the movie is just like
trash.
It's dope, but it's a Marvel movie.
It's a Marvel movie. Yeah. Who's your favorite actor right now? Or like, let's just say a couple of them that you really like watching.
I really like Joaquin Phoenix because I think he's on a run right now. I think with Napoleon, he did Napoleon, which was amazing. Beau Was Afraid was great. I thought Manny was going to be here.
Oh no, he works.
Shout out Manny.
Shout out to Manny. That's who does all of he's our third member.
He actually works during the day.
No, shout out Manny because last time I saw at your birthday party,
he has a job.
I saw. Sorry, I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, damn.
At your birthday party, I saw Manny, and we talked about Beau Was Afraid for like 30 minutes.
Oh, damn,
Beau Was Afraid was great. That was in the top 5.
So Joaquin, you said a couple of movies so far.
Yeah, for the past few movies he's done, he's gonna do a couple more. I think one's gonna release in 2024, but I'm not sure.
Joaquin is dope.
But yeah, I really like who else? Lily Gladstone. She's the girl from Killers of the Flower Moon. She's really dope. Like she's like fucking like powerhouse, dude. Like she's like when she's in a scene, like steals it. Like that's all you can like pay attention to. You know what I mean?
Have you always been into movies since you were a kid, or like like when did you really start getting into paying attention to like so many of the details of a movie? Because a lot of people that I meet, they like watching movies, but like obviously the detail that goes into what you're doing is a little bit different.
I've always watched movies ever since I was a little kid, like as long as I can remember.
Is that like was like a family thing kind of?
Yeah, my dad, huge Blockbuster head. Like just every Friday.
Going to Blockbuster.
Yeah, like going to Blockbuster.
Hit it with the new release section.
Yeah, get some fucking Dynamos, get some fucking soda, and just watch. Get a video game. Of course, for me, I'm a kid. I still play.
What console were you playing with?
PS2.
Damn, they had a good selection.
The best console.
PlayStation 2 is goated.
Yeah,
for
number
sure.
one.
And then when I was older, I hit like 10 years old, I got a 360. Crazy. That changed my life. But anyways, Blockbuster. Always movies, and then whether going to fucking Walmart or Target, wherever you buy the DVDs. Like for me, the DVDs just appeared in my house. I don't know where my dad got them from, pawn shop, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And we used to have this huge, like this big of a shelf, just all DVDs, just like random shit. And my dad, the way I'm guessing, I never talked to my dad about this, but like I feel like he bought DVDs by the actor. He was never a big movie head like as much as I am, but he was just like, oh, I'm gonna get all of Martin Lawrence's movies, like just like, oh, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one,
Gotcha.
or like, oh, all Brad Pitt, this one, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Seven, fucking Troy, like all his shit, bro. And then all Martin Lawrence, all Will Smith, all fucking whatever, Bernie Mac's shit, everything. And then and they would just be on. And then through that, I think it wasn't until Get Out came out where I saw Get Out. Get Out was the first movie I watched in theaters by myself, because I went to the movies with my parents, and that movie Kong Skull Island?
Yeah.
That was out at the same time as Get Out, and I really wanted to see Get Out. And my parents, we went to go see Kong Skull Island. And I was like, is it cool if I watch this while you guys watch that? And they were like, yeah, whatever. And then so I went in to Get Out by myself, watched it. My mind was blown, dude. I was like, in my head, I was like, you can make movies like this? Like you can make horror movies that also like say something, which is all horror. Like growing up, like that's a lot of horror movies.
5-star?
But like, yes, absolutely. That's like movie of the decade. That's like top 5 of the decade.
It's a great movie.
That's a rare movie where it changed culture.
It changed culture. Like
period.
It's so good. Like it all the little themes of it, like the teacup or the running or the flash photography, like all of that shit is just stuck in your head after you see it.
Or him floating.
The fucking him crying, sitting in the seat. Like all of these all this imagery that, and with the deer using the antlers and shit like that, as from the beginning when he hits the deer in the beginning of the movie to where towards the end he has the taxidermy of the deer, using it to kill somebody. Spoiler.
Yeah, it's like a movie where you have to watch it so many times because you have to pick out. It's like there's Easter eggs.
There's so much to it, and so that's why for me when I saw it, I forgot how old I was, must be like 15 or something like that, and it came out and I was like, holy shit, this movie, like for me, I was just like, how can a movie have this many layers? And then that's what opened my eyes to where like, oh, movies have like meaning for real, like they can apply to the real world as well. And then going back to like flashback to all of the movies I've ever seen, I was like, oh shit, that's what this is about. Like watching The Matrix again, you're like,
that shit changed your life, bro.
Yeah.
That shit changed. Yeah, wow.
And so Get Out was like that did a lot for me. That did a lot for everybody. That's a lot of people's favorite movie.
I think now that you just said that, I think mine like that might have been The Matrix.
Yeah.
Because when the first time I seen it, I was like, bro, we're in the Matrix. Like, this is crazy.
It made you think like differently for sure.
What is this shit real?
Oh yeah. And Fight Club is the same way. Where, however popular it gets, like I think that people realize, like obviously on the like there's always movies where there's like the surface where it's just like, yeah, it's this guy who's like starting a fight club, and then you get the twist. Another spoiler alert on Fight Club. we're just spoiling all the movies right now, but they're the same person, Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. It's the same person. And then you realize the whole time it's just this guy in his own head going crazy, convincing himself that all of these things he's coming up with is a good idea. Shit like that. And then like seeing that and you're like, oh shit, like consumerism is fucking the downfall of all of us. And that's what, I'm sorry saying that in a vintage shop, but that's what the themes of Fight Club are. And that's what the themes of whatever the Matrix's themes, Get Out's themes, and everything like they all have these really powerful messages. And then you start watching old movies like Dawn of the Dead, and seeing like seeing a zombie movie in a shopping mall is way more powerful now after I watch Get Out, to where you're like, holy shit, I get it now, and seeing all of these old horror like The Thing. And that's another thing where John Carpenter's movie, The Thing. So I keep pointing at you, bro. I'm sorry. I catch myself.
He does it too. I seen a shot of the last pod, and you're like this.
I do sometimes. I go like this.
No. John Carpenter's The Thing coming out in the 80s. I think came out like 81. But like the uprising of AIDS in America, and like not knowing, like if you watch it, it's just like you realize the context of all these movies coming out. And just like Dune coming out now, and realizing that the book was written by Frank Herbert in like 66, I think, in the middle of the Civil Rights Act, and it's like, holy shit, like this all it could like really like sink in on you back then reading the book, and it could sink in now based on all the things we're going through, and then even shit to like watching X-Men. Like Magneto and Professor X, like that's Malcolm X and MLK. Like they're the aggressive.
They're the opposite.
They're the opposite, but they have the same thing.
Yeah.
And so there's so many. Once you like, it's kind of like the Matrix. Like once you start, you just fall down. You're like, holy shit! All these movies are really saying something.
You're like, I like this movie, but now let me watch it again because now I can look for what was it about.
I should say, Get Out was the movie that made me realize that people are making these movies. That like people are writing this and people are directing this and trying to say something, and then that's why all these movies are so important. That's why movies are so important to me, is because it's like. For me, it's modern day painting. It's like when you had these people, in the 1800s, 1700s, painting these things, expressing themselves, that and every single little thing is on purpose. You see it, and then that's what it is. That's what you get. So when people are like, oh, I wish this movie did more of this, or I wish this movie was better at this, or I wish they didn't do this, or I wish whatever. It's like, no, it's not up to you.
Yeah.
Like that's what this person chose to do. And then I believe this is a good segue to Tarantino, who's the ultimate person to be like, no, fuck you. This is, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the ultimate like, fuck you. This is my vision. I'm not going to try to like, do this shit for you. I'm doing this shit for me. I watched all these movies and I'm going to put this into mine. I'm going to make Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Whether it's ripping off every 70s Kung Fu movie ever, but that's my vision. And the same thing with Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. Like, that's Tarantino's vision. It's not up to you whether you wish it was less violent or not, but that's what the story's supposed to do. Yeah. So that's what a movie is. It's not up to you if it's good or not. That's just what the movie is. And
it's like a painting, like you said. It's like when you don't go up to like a classic painting and be like, man, I wish it had a cactus.
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean, like something.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's the painting.
That's the painting. Like let's dissect that painting.
It's up
for what it is. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And so there's no like one way, and the same thing with the painting. There's no one way to look at it.
Yeah,
there's no like this is what it's about. There's like, no, this is how it makes me feel. This is what I get out of it and shit like that. And obviously, when you look at just like when you see a story in a movie, like obviously that's what the movie's about. Just like when you see a painting of like a forest, like obviously that's a forest, like everyone can agree, but it's what's in the forest, what color, how dark are the leaves, and is it raining, is it not, is it this or is it that, you know what I mean? So
like the tone, like what's the tone of that
how does
forest?
it make you feel, like when you see, you know, a picture of, is the swamp in the forest super muddy, or is it dry, or is there no water, you know? So it's like so many things, and why is there no water kind of thing. So there's there's this movie called Videodrome that came out in like 88 or in 89. It's like a crazy horror movie, like a body horror. So there's like the crazy makeup effects. You know that movie The Fly? It's the same director.
Oh wow! Shit.
So
weird. It's weird.
It's weird as fuck, and but it's amazing. And so like there's this part where there's a girl who lights a cigarette and she puts it out on her shoulder, and there's literally that reaction is perfect because in the movie when it shows her do that, it's like a close up. Like kind of like it's not slow motion, but it's like a slow pan over to the shoulder, and then she puts it out, and then it cuts to the guy seeing her do that, and like the way he reacts, it's like it's perfect, like, and that's perfect editing because you see like he's like you get that feeling of like, oh, I should be uncomfortable, like this isn't normal. And then with Dune, I keep bringing up Dune because it's the perfect example of like they're in the fucking desert in like Saudi Arabia, like wherever they are, Qatar, I think they filmed it. But it's like when you're watching it, you're like, they're on another planet.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
And so it's like, that's somewhere I've never been, can never be
and
ever.
You can't go to because
Yeah.
it's not real. But
it's world building.
Yeah.
It's the way it's shot, the costumes, the acting, like the way it's all put together. You're
And I
like,
think
oh, that's a different planet.
Now we can get on Tarantino because that's what Tarantino does. He builds these worlds, and within these worlds, you'll see like I don't know, a burger spot that's in this one and in this one.
Yeah,
so you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shit,
Like the cigarettes.
yeah,
the
like
same
cigarettes.
stuff.
Yeah. So he makes
it's super
these things.
dope because when you watch, like, not getting into Reservoir Dogs, his first movie, when you watch it and all these dudes' suits are like jagged, they're not good suits, and the reason, when you look at the reason why it is, like if you watch interviews or whatever in real life why they're wearing bad suits is because they couldn't afford them. Like there was a low budget movie. I think they made the movie for like less than $1 million, and the most of it was on cameras and shit and paying the actors. Like most of it was to Harvey Keitel because he was already an established actor. Steve Buscemi, like paying these big actors, and so they couldn't afford suits. So all of the dudes just like fuck it. One of the dudes is wearing black jeans and a blazer and a tie. Yeah, and so it's like they're not even like real suits, but it's like when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, these dudes aren't professionals. Like they're not even wearing real suits.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like there's these real life things, like events that happen where it's like a lot of people will be like, oh fuck it, well they can't be wearing suits, you know. But he stuck with it and was like, you know what, fuck it, that's part of the story. It's
part
you know
of
what I mean?
it,
Like
yeah.
if you notice it or not, you know what I mean? But if you do notice it, it adds, you're like, oh shit, that adds to the way these characters are and shit like that. And you know, the reason why Reservoir Dogs, it all takes place in the warehouse, it's because they can only afford to shoot in one warehouse.
spot.
Like there's the scenes, you know, in the bathroom, and there's scenes in the you know, they're running down, you know, the city street, like literally they're shooting on location, stealing these shots of, you know, the streets in LA. And it's like those scenes are like a minute long. Like they're not that long. You could tell they did it real quick. All right, let's leave.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie is in this fucking ran down, abandoned warehouse. And it's like, that's what they did. Like that was the vision. And Quentin Tarantino did what he could. And that was his first movie. And it fucking, I didn't blow up at first, but like, it was kind of like a cult classic, and then people love it now.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think we want to talk about some of our favorite Tarantino movies, right?
Let's do it.
And you kind of,
I'm interested. What is yours?
no, that you kept talking about it, and I was like, this guy's spoiler alert, because that's mine.
That's yours?
Yeah, for sure.
The
dude.
first one?
Oh yeah, I
Reservoir Dogs is amazing, dude.
I love that movie, dude. As a matter of fact, I want to go watch it again. You know what I mean? It's like one of those movies that you kind of like, after a little while, you go back and you watch it again.
It's a great rewatch, dude.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
if it's been a couple of years and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna throw on.
Yeah, and I love it when someone says, I've never seen it. I'm like, let me put it on for you real quick.
For real.
It's like one of those movies where you're like, oh no, we got to watch it. Like,
And
we
that's
gotta put it on.
almost
Yeah.
all of Tarantino's movies. It's
For
like,
sure.
you ever seen it? No? All right.
We're going to watch it.
I think
yeah.
that's it's probably not the movie, but one of the movies where I was like, damn, so dialogue is like a huge part of this. Because
Great
when they're
writer.
talking about it, they're talking about leaving a tip. And they're just going back and
Iconic.
forth about it. Like it's like, oh, he put in like a real, because that's a real conversation. Yeah, like
you
going
can
back and forth. Like, bro, you don't tip. Like,
right.
You can see that Tarantino writing it. That's him. He didn't write that with anybody else. So that's his. In his mind, that's both sides of like, this is why I shouldn't tip, and this is why I should tip.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and it divides the audience too.
And it's like, oh yeah, because that before that it came out in '92. So there's before that, no movies really felt like that,
right?
To where like they're talking about real shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, that was a feeling. Like when I was watching it, it was like
you took a side too.
Well, yeah, you took a side, but it was just different.
Mm-hmm. It was like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, you're kind of watching it like, this is kind of funny. Like, it's just
different. And like it's funny because they're sitting in that round table, and they're like the first words of the movie are spoken by Tarantino, talking about Madonna, the Like a Virgin song, and like the first in his iconic. It's funny now watching it because in his 9 movie career, you see the very first words of any of his movies is him talking about Like a Virgin by Madonna in front of Harvey Keitel, Steve Buscemi, fucking Sean Penn. You know what I mean? Like all these great fucking actors, and he's the one kind of holding it down.
Crazy.
So it's very like risky what he did.
That is true.
And so
he didn't care though, dude. You can just tell he didn't.
He never cared.
He
bro.
never. Yeah.
And so he was always just like, "This is my movie."
Right.
It's always been his.
Yeah.
And that was always the fucking punk rock. That's what always attracted to me was just the fucking hell yeah. Like this is a Tarantino movie.
Exactly.
Kind of like fuck everybody. I'm doing what I want. All right.
And that's why mine is Kill Bill, because you didn't get to see a woman be. I guess you could call her a hero, but she's like
a badass.
There you go. That's a good word. A fucking badass. Yeah. And you don't even now. You don't really see that. Like, I mean, Miss Marvel,
not
or whatever.
Like that.
Like, that's fucking
not like Kill Bill.
Like that. No.
Yeah,
Kill Bill. It was sick because it's like it was one of those movies, and I hate to like make it like political, but like now, if you do that, it would feel completely different because it wouldn't be Kill Bill. It would be kind of like this. Forced like I'm a woman kind of thing, but like with Kill Bill, it felt crazy because it's like anyone can be in that role and it'd be fucking badass. But Uma Thurman bodied that shit, dude, and she is the star of that's her movie. That's for sure. Like throughout the whole movie, you're just following her on this fucking crazy adventure.
You know One of the craziest thing is like the cover of that movie. It's so iconic.
It's sick.
Like they just crushed that cover, bro. Like there's just one of the most iconic movie covers.
And then one of my favorite parts is like the character development in it of like the antagonist that she goes to kill, that she gets off on the list.
Yeah.
It's like every one of them has a story behind why they're so cold. You know?
It's just like 4 or 5, and like between each one, they're in different. It's like going in different worlds. Yeah, it's like you're playing a video game.
Quick. Yeah, because even one of them was like an anime style. Yeah. So. Yeah, that blew my mind. I'm like, and it was so quick too. Like they didn't just like take 30 minutes to do their story. It was so quick. I don't know what the time is, but probably less than 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was just like,
and you got so much from it. You're like, I know this person now. Boom, now they're fighting. Like,
and like the anime sequence in that movie is like so like, and it comes out of nowhere. And you're like, holy shit, that was fucking sick. You're like, oh my God. Like, you forget that it's anime for a second because it's just the story, like a flashback story, like it's just anime.
And like, who thinks to do that?
Yeah, like, it's so it's wild. And that's what it is. It's a wild decision.
Yeah,
but it just
like,
works.
How does that even make sense if he's like, this is a whole movie and then we're just going to throw some anime scenes and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's that like, doesn't make sense. It's probably coked up or some shit. He's like, all right, here's what we're going to do.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great, dude. And it's supposed to be, obviously Volume 1 and Volume 2, it was supposed to be one movie. Mm-hmm. But I think the production company was like, dude, we're not.
So long.
We're not releasing a 5-hour movie.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein, shout out to him.
Take it easy. Hey, so
that was Miramax.
It was Miramax.
Where we at with you? Your favorite?
My favorite? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It has to be because it's right here with me. It's so good, dude. It's like that. The characters he made, like Rick Dalton, being like a not a metaphor, just being like that symbol of like just an actor, or just an artist, trying to be like, whether you're an artist and thinking you're not good enough, but everyone around you is telling you, no, dude, you're fucking sick, and you're like, yeah, no, fuck that, I'm not. And like I feel like that's relatable to a lot of people. And then the ups and downs, like emotionally, the ups and downs of, trying to be on your creative journey and being like the part where he sees where Roman Polanski, who's a real director, and he sees like, oh, he just moved in next door to me. He was like, oh, I'm set now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine. Like, I'll be in his movie and I'll be set. Like, when you just got done fucking crying, being like, oh, my career's over. Like, you literally just having those crazy roller coasters of emotions, thinking it's over, and then be like, oh, you know what? I'm fucking back. Like, this is sick. And then, obviously the ending, and it being Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like, it's a fairy tale. And that's why at the end, with the whole, and at the same time, it's a Manson family movie. Like, it's about the Charles Manson
that's what was funny about it too. When it first, like, people were hearing about it, they're like, "Oh, he's doing a Manson family movie."
Yeah, he's doing a movie about Charles Manson.
Yeah, and people are like, "What?" And I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was Tarantino.
It was Tarantino. it was his Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah,
the World War II, where it's like. Where it shows in Inglourious Bastards where they fucking shoot Hitler, is like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And but that same thing where it's like, instead of breaking into Sharon Tate's house, they break into his house, and it's spoiler. Whoa. But oh shit, did I move too much?
You're good.
No, you're good.
No, yeah. So like, and that all happening, and then also Cliff Booth, Brad Pitt's character, being that support and being that like that rock, and be like, dude, I fucking got you, being the bro. And just being like, I got your back, bro. Like, I'll fucking house sit for you. I'll fucking do this, do
and
that.
And just how he's just living life,
bro. He's
like,
chilling.
He's just cruising
the whole movie,
waiting for his boy to get off work.
And then you seeing the polar opposite of Leonardo DiCaprio's character living in the Hollywood Hills in this nice ass house, in the fucking, with all his awards, all his movie posters all around him, and then when Brad Pitt drops him off at his house, he goes back to he lives in a trailer behind a drive-in theater, and with his dog, and
which is kind of crazy now that I think about it. Like, if that was my boy, you would live with me in the hills.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So,
but I'm sure. See, this is the whole thing. Is like, this is how great these characters are. Is we get to talk about it like this, but it's like Cliff is probably like, nah, like.
That's true too.
He's probably like, no, I'm good. That's the whole thing. He's probably like, I'm good. I'm chilling. And that's the whole, you know how he came out with the novel of the book. Obviously I read it. And in the book, it's funny because when it goes off into when Cliff Booth is by himself, the funniest part to me that I always remember is, how he makes, in the movie, he makes the macaroni and cheese, like the Kraft mac and cheese. He fucking uses just the powder and just mixes it up. And it's like, you're supposed to use, the instructions say use milk and butter and with the powder. But in the book, he's like, if I can afford to buy milk and butter, then I wouldn't be eating Kraft mac and cheese. and I always love that part because, like, just his mentality,
that's
like
fucking gross.
His awareness of, just what he's in. And when Rick Dalton can't act anymore, he's like, well, if he's not acting no more, I'm out of work because I'm his stuntman. So he's like, but he's cool with it. He's like, if that's what it is, that's how it has to be. But then,
then the love for his dog, like his dog is like on point. You know what I'm saying?
His dog's a good actor.
The dog was perfect, bro.
That's so crazy.
But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's so great to me. Like the part where there's so many parts where it's just realize he's just fucking going through it. You know, and I think last time we talked about it, I was like, he's bipolar. Because he's clearly like, oh, I'm good. Like, I'm fucking doing this. And then the next week he's just...
You know what, though?
Not feeling
I thought that at first until I started doing creative stuff like that we do now. Because there's times when we talk about it, like, I'll do an event and, like, it's a good night, right?
Yeah,
so I'm like, bro, nobody can fuck with me.
I'm the best at this shit.
I'm the best. Like, nobody could fuck with me, bro.
Yeah.
Then you do a bad event and you're like, bro, like,
what the
should
fuck
I
am
quit
I
this
doing?
shit? Like... So that's not really like bipolar. That's how he was.
No, that's
like, when he was
the
killing
emotions.
it,
That's how it is.
Yeah.
And like that's just what comes with the territory.
It comes with
for
it.
sure.
And so that's why I love that movie.
What would you say is the worst Maybe everybody should say their worst.
Well, we gave you the top 3, and if you guys haven't seen any of these or some of these, like obviously, I would say these are top 3 from us. Definitely good watches. So, like, if there was one that you could stay away from, what would you say?
Honestly, I would say don't stay away from any. To be
Don't
honest.
stay away from
But
any.
I just want to know, like, what
The
would
worst
you put
one?
at the bottom?
Okay,
Because
rank
worst-
at the very bottom.
Saying
Okay.
worst means like I feel like that kind of leans towards like it's bad, but
Yeah.
no, he's never made a bad movie.
So rank the lowest ranked one, I guess.
What would you put at the bottom? Maybe for me,
I feel
maybe
like,
Death Proof.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Death Proof.
But
But it's so good.
it's so good.
Like the
but
scene
it's
when they're whooping that fool's ass. Like
at the end, dude, it's so fucking.
Yeah.
It's insane because it's like nonstop.
mm-hmm.
Like,
and I heard all of the car stuff was real.
that was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no the actors in the movie are stuntmen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all they're driving fucking 90 miles an hour, fucking on top of cars, and
Fighting.
it's insane, dude. And then obviously Kurt Russell, iconic like look, the lines delivered, like everything.
The
bro.
actors that he has in his movies are just insane.
Yeah,
dude.
for sure. He
Like-
just uses them so perfect.
I know,
And that's
it's
how
so crazy.
good Reservoir Dogs was. Is that Reservoir Dogs was so good that his next movie, he was like, I want Bruce Willis, John Travolta, I want Samuel Jackson, I want Uma Thurman. Like,
When I saw that lineup, I was like, "What the? This is insane."
Yeah.
it's so, dude. I would say, obviously, Pulp Fiction is his best movie.
Yep.
Like,
I was gonna say Pulp is my favorite, but it's
but it's like Kanye's Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's like obviously his best,
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
his
So
best
good,
work.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
what
it's
everyone
insane.
recognizes. It's what
It's
everyone
insane.
once you see the poster, you're like, oh yeah, that. that
another iconic cover.
iconic, dude. Where she's smoking a cigarette on the
right.
bed.
Insane.
Amazing cover.
so many crazy scenes in that one. And then also bringing Travolta out. It's
Bringing
like,
Travolta back.
Yeah, like basically like Once Upon a Time.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, being
It's
like, you get this washed up actor who's in the downhill toward like going at his lowest,
like he's done.
and then Tarantino being like, well, I fucked with Saturday Night Fever and Blowout, like all this shit from the late 70s, early 80s. Where is he now? Why is he not a superstar?
Yeah.
So he's like, let me put him in my movie because he's great, and then he is great and makes this second wave of movies where it's like, oh, John Travolta's now
That
back.
guy.
having the second wave.
Yeah,
of-
like I'm sure when Tarantino's like, I want Travolta to play this character, they're like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Why?
they're like, he's
you have a
fucking
huge
washed.
budget.
Yeah.
like let's get someone dope.
yeah,
Like,
and
it's
then
like,
Bruce Willis coming off of Die Hard,
Right.
and that being probably one of the best action movies of all time. Like Bruce Willis doing that. Bruce Willis originally wanted to be Travolta's part,
oh yeah, he
and
talked
Tarantino
about that on that pod.
Yeah,
huh?
Tarantino was like, no, sorry. Like,
You're right. I
yeah,
forgot
and
about
then he
that.
was like,
That's crazy that you have this huge actor. You're like, hey, I want you to be in the movie. He's like, oh yeah, I want that role. And you're like, nah,
not happening.
nah.
Well, the fact that he still fucked with them and was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take on whatever role you give me."
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's
Insane.
a risk, bro.
It's a risk.
Imagine
but
you
he
want
really
someone,
believed in him. Yeah.
You want someone so big that you would want to give them anything they want.
Yeah.
But Tarantino's like,
And then Samuel Jackson, that was kind of his first movie. Not his first acting role,
No,
but that was his
big.
first, like, that was what made him blow up.
For sure.
Because before that, he wasn't in a lot that was really remarkable.
No.
Like, he was in a scene of Goodfellas. Like, and that was it. And then, like, maybe a couple things here and there, but, like, Pulp Fiction came out in 94. Like, that was Samuel Jackson ever since. You know what I mean? Like he's just so good in Pulp Fiction. Like he's too good. Like that scene though.
everybody, bro, really was great.
Like fucking the whole opening of them talking about McDonald's, the foot massages, and then that's another thing about Tarantino's writing is like it's these gangsters, these hitmen that are about to go fucking run up in this dude's crib and be like, hey yo, what the fuck? But he doesn't just show that scene. He shows them driving there. What are they talking about? What would these guys talk about? They're talking about, oh yeah, I went to Amsterdam, I went to France, and I went to McDonald's, and they don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese, and shit like that. You know what I mean? And so there's shit like that where you're like in Reservoir Dogs, where like they're talking about tipping and they're talking about music, and it's like, well, in Pulp Fiction, the next movie, it's like, dude, they're talking about fast food and they're talking about. Like, would you beat somebody up if they gave your girl a foot massage and shit like that? You know what I mean? It's like it's such this casual. It's like you're listening to a podcast. It's like you're just watching the homies talk.
Yeah.
And then you're all of a sudden you're in a fucking gangster film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a different way to connect with the characters.
Yeah.
Like, than what people had done in the past. But
What's your worst?
have
you seen
know.
Death Proof?
I haven't.
I know a lot of people haven't seen
No,
it.
I haven't.
is-
So I'd probably have to go and watch it. But that's a tough question.
I think
man.
I would
Like,
only put Death Proof down there because it is his most underrated. It's his it's
Got it.
no one talks about
So just
it.
a super underrated one.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So that one, for anybody that hasn't, please watch it if you haven't. But it's about like an old school, I guess, racer. Would you call him?
He's a stuntman. Stuntman Mike. That was his name.
Oh yeah, you're right. Stuntman Mike,
and he drives this car that's what they call the fat, like in old car chase movies, they death proof the car. Which
got it.
basically means like if you get in a crash, whoever's in the driver's seat is good.
they'll survive.
Build a cage around it. All
But
that.
like what this dude Stuntman Mike does is he goes around and he gets girls, puts them in the whip, and he has like a little bar stool type thing in the where the passenger seat is, and he drives fast as fuck and he fucking does a head-on collision and kills the girl, but he's good. Like that's how he kills people.
Got it.
And these girls hear about it, and then
They go to find her, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's so good, dude. It's a good ass movie.
Watch that one for sure. Then.
Which one do you think?
No, I mean I don't really have like because even Django is like one of
Django?
it's like one of my top ones
my
up there.
God, yeah.
Like it's just
That
hard.
one's
to even,
iconic.
That's iconic.
another
It's
iconic.
Great
movie.
love story. Like you can't even
To
like,
play Rick Ross on there? Like,
That's
That's insane, bro. Insane. Yeah, I remember watching that. I was just like my mind was blown.
A lot of
Kinda
people
like,
didn't like that. The Rick Ross. It's like, why are you
Really?
playing modern music in an old western? It's like,
Yeah,
dude, who
but
gives a
it was
fuck,
hard.
bro.
shit hit.
It's a hit. Yeah, I remember watching it. I was just, my mind was blown. Kind of like when you same thing when like same feeling when you watch Get Out. I was just like, whoa, like this is crazy.
Like,
And
you
then at
could
the
do
end, it
this?
was just like, and then I just realized this is a love story.
Yeah,
Like it was just like those things that you just realize.
like
that you're talking
Romeo
about.
and Juliet.
yeah.
Esque.
About
Yeah.
this
You know
guy
what I'm
who was
saying?
gonna go to the fucking to hell and back to save his lady.
Right.
And like Leonardo DiCaprio, amazing. That's his best performance. I'll just say it right
They
now.
said
Like,
he in that scene where when he hit the cup, he cut his whole hand and it was bleeding, but he didn't stop the scene.
oh yeah,
Just a gangster, bro.
when he smashed it
Yeah.
and he fucking starts rubbing the blood on Kerry Washington.
Like that was not
that was
supposed to
not.
happen.
That was just him.
That's insane.
I was
That's
like,
insane, bro.
hey, yo,
He's like,
For
yep,
him
keep
to
it
just
rolling.
realize that, keep going, like, dude, yeah,
you got to be in the zone. You got to be locked in.
Yeah.
doing
Django
some
is
shit
a-
like that. But
so good, dude.
one thing I want to say is I want to go back and say Samuel Jackson. Also, I would say as far as all of Tarantino's movies, I think Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction is probably one of his best directed. Like, that's one of the best performances in any Tarantino movie. Just because of like, one, it's Samuel Jackson, someone at the time like no one ever heard of, or like no one like knew who he was. He was just this new guy next to John Travolta, someone who's a familiar face, and then him kind of taking the reins and like that whole iconic scene of the when he's doing the Bible verse and shit, like just the delivery where like every line you're like hooked on what he's saying, like the
Like you respect
furious
him.
anger, like that. You're like, God damn, like you feel everything he's saying. And so like I just think that is one of the best parts of Pulp Fiction, and also the iconic like editing where it's all out of order, where like you'll watch the beginning is the end and shit, weird shit like that, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Those chronological order shit.
yeah. That always tripped me out when I watched.
What would
those
you say to
movies.
someone that says Tarantino's just overrated, bro? It's just overrated. Because you know
What does that even
everybody
mean?
loves it.
That's what I would say. I'd be like, what are you even talking about? Like,
Yeah, like in comparison to like, what are we
yeah,
talking
it's like,
about? Yeah.
dude, he's a great fucking writer. Like in overrated to what? Like, because he
Right.
makes good movies. Like,
Yeah.
so like to me, I love Christopher Nolan's movies, and I did think Interstellar and Inception, his two most popular ones. I think they're all right. I don't think they're as good as a lot of people say they are. I think his other like The Prestige is an amazing movie.
Yeah, that's a crazy movie.
And I think Dunkirk is great, dude.
Which one is that one?
The World War II one,
Okay.
where it's like the pilot, pilot, and then the guy who's on the ship, and then there's the guy who's on the land.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
know
three
what you're
different
talking
perspectives. It's so dope, bro. I love that movie.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's time to get into a little bit of as we talk about this or that?
Yeah, let's do it.
This or that, okay. Are you familiar? Have you heard us do this before?
I think once. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So basically, we're just going to ask some this or that questions.
Yep.
You give us your answer, and then you could give a little background why you chose it if you want to.
Nothing too crazy.
So the first one, AMC or Harkins?
AMC.
What?
Off rip.
What do you say?
I forget which one has the little for the popcorn. It's got the powder and shit on the side. Whatever.
That's Harkins.
Harkins.
Yeah.
Harkins all day, baby.
Harkins, bro. I've never heard anyone pick AMC. AMC sucks. Just so everybody knows.
Wow.
Tell them how you really
I
feel.
fucking hate AMC.
That's wild. Harkins ones.
He said that's wild.
taxing, bro.
AMC
Harkins
has terrible popcorn, and
I
their
don't like
seats are
popcorn.
always. What?
I don't like popcorn.
Okay, so he's not rating it off the food then. Okay. Right? Or you get something else?
I get like red vines. That's my go-to.
Okay, so
Damn.
red
Red
vines.
vines in a large
Hold
drink.
up. He's fucking up one of the questions.
No, I
bro.
know, right? So anyways, so AMC, what do you like about it? Just the
AMC,
theater?
it's a little bit cheaper, and I got they have like the membership.
Harkins has that too.
Yeah, Harkins got that too.
That's not real though, because that's like
It's real as fuck. What are you talking about?
every fucking like what is it, like every fucking $20 you spend you get 5 points, and bro, you got to spend like 2 racks to get a free movie, like what? And so dude, I just fucking get that. You get every drink size is the same price, and I'm about to do an ad for AMC, bro.
AMC sucks, bro. You could do all
Alright,
the ads
whatever.
you want.
Why do you think AMC sucks? Because I mean,
Bro, so maybe there's some good AMCs over here or something, but all the ones over there by my house, they're fucking nasty.
No, yeah, dude, you
They're
live on-
beat down.
yeah, you live over
they're
there.
fucking gross. Harkins has the nice seats. Some of them by me have the ones with the electronic seats
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
fucking go out.
they do have.
They
good
have those at
seating,
AMC.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
some of
it,
them.
but yeah, AMC is just fucking gross to me, and their popcorn fucking sucks. To me, if I'm going to the movies, it's
Popcorn.
an experience. I need a popcorn and a soda.
Okay.
Like that's automatic. Now, if I'm at the crib, I don't ever eat popcorn unless I'm at the theater. Like I don't like popcorn.
But I don't even. I
You
stop-
butter it up?
Oh yeah,
You tell them to put that butter on there,
Yeah.
and then we
But
put the
I
powder.
could see
The
maybe-
powder is gas.
The
I will
season-
give you
the
that.
seasoning?
I don't like the powder.
The
You don't
powder
do
is
I'm a
seasoning?
plain
gas.
type of guy.
Plain? Just
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah, just
Okay.
butter.
Hit me with the powder, my dog.
Powder.
But
Yeah, the
we,
nacho
were,
cheese.
we were kind of getting into this one, but
Oh, okay. So yeah, we just talked about that one. Popcorn or food? You picked
Definitely-
red vines.
Definitely food. I fuck with red vines is always a go-to with a drink, with a large drink.
Okay.
And
Large
I'm
soda?
chilling. I'm chilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually get like Sprite or some shit.
Dude, you know what, man? Like, I kind of started getting into a little bit of. They have those little chocolate ice cream. Those,
The like
they're
the
not
dibs?
called dip. Yeah.
Yeah.
you like
Dude,
those?
If they got
Surprised I
those,
do that, bro.
yeah, you knew it, bro. You got excited about it too. Dibs.
No, dibs. Those are gas.
Bro.
You know what's fire though? Me and Manny went to go see Dune 2,
Mm-hmm.
and he got some Reese's Pieces
Uh-huh.
on the side.
Okay.
those
The
with the
miniature
popcorn?
ones?
You
The
know
miniature
what?
ones or
The
no?
little ones. The little
fuck-
ones.
Yeah, those are
Okay,
fire.
I'll
Those
give
are
you
fire.
this. Every time I eat
Small Kit
popcorn,
Kats.
it's never by itself. I gotta put in the chocolate with
Put
it.
something
I like
with it.
Raisinets.
I fuck
Chocolate
with
covered
Raisinets.
raisins mixed in with
I can
popcorn.
fuck with
That's
that.
gas.
Okay, I can fuck with that.
That I haven't tried that, but that's a good recommendation, bro.
I recommend
that. Sounds
that.
good. Yeah.
I don't like popcorn no more. I don't know what it is.
That's
It just
crazy.
I shouldn't say I don't like popcorn. Popcorn just never
You
sounds
know why?
good.
Because you get it at AMC. Go to Harkins and you will.
No, I'll
love
go to
popcorn.
Harkins. I'll see what's up.
But all right,
He's like, I'll save some money
All
up
right.
and go to Harkins.
I think I know your answer, but watch it at the theater or at home.
At the theater.
Theater. You
Like-
love the theater.
IMAX is the best though.
IMAX is on some movies,
But it's
Right.
so impossible. I saw Dune twice, and I couldn't find a time
It's
that worked
sold
with
out,
me.
bro.
Yeah, it's either
If you
sold
wait-
out or
Like if you would have waited, you know,
I
it's
just can't wait, bro. I need it.
Yeah.
I need
I
that.
needed in my
You
van.
could go back and watch it on IMAX. I mean, that's
third
all-
time.
No, that's what I'm just saying
I
because
would.
it's a different experience. I feel like any movie with an IMAX, and I know, like I'm not saying any movie, but movies like that you want, I think it's such a different experience.
Me and Manny wanted to go see it for the second
the second time,
and bro, it was all sold out, or it
Yeah.
was random times, like super late or early, like on a weekday. I'm
No,
like,
yeah, both times I saw Dune. One was at 10 p.m. The other one was at like 9. It was
Yeah.
late as fuck.
See,
You gotta go
bro,
late,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be passing out. Like, damn, I'm old, bro. Shit.
Yeah, I gotta take a nap before I leave.
Yeah, just get a little power nap in before, bro.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
load up on the popcorn and soda. Anybody's drinking that.
Yo, Manny. Hey, shout out to Manny. I don't
Shout
know
out
if he's
Manny.
gonna be mad if
Shout
I
out
say
Manny
this.
for real.
Uh-oh.
My
Hey,
boy.
all right, go.
Look at my boy was. my boy was falling asleep in Dune. He had a crack of energy drink in the middle of Dune.
What time?
Bro.
What time?
We went kind of. No, we didn't go that late. I think at 8:30.
That's dangerous.
But
though,
this
no?
fool works hard as hell. This dude has a tough job.
Yeah, he does do construction. But yeah,
Right.
in the middle of it, I see him kind of, and I just hear my boy drinking a Celsius.
Hey, at least he knew, dog. Because sometimes I just be like,
The Celsius at like 8 p.m. is crazy.
I
That'll
know,
fuck
bro.
up your
That's
sleep.
gangster.
That's what I said. He said no, he's good. I don't know. He's a crazy
That's
person.
gangster. He probably pops 2 in the morning.
All right, so this
Thug
one,
that shit out.
Direct a crazy high budget action Michael
a-
Bay type movie, or direct a low budget indie film.
like if you
had
say
to
someone
pick it.
came to you with the money, they're like, hey, we want you to do this movie for us. You can either do a little indie A24 type movie, low budget, or this high budget, but it needs to be like a
That's
fucking
hard.
Michael Bay, like crazy, you know?
Okay, so here's, I think I would end up choosing low budget independent because I like those are my favorite kinds of movies are the low budget horror movies like from the 70s and 80s, like to where you know that like this is just a group of friends making this
They
movie.
had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, like it's limited resources, shit like that. But if there's like this big budget, I would want it to be like this fantasy, like fucking Lord of the Rings type shit, like some big,
Like a different
scale,
world.
like whole other shit kind of thing.
That'd be dope.
It would have to be like that, but I think low budget like horror, like a low budget horror movie.
That's dope.
Or like, because for me, I have like I always write like just for fun. Like I just write hella, just like not scripts, but like I write scenes. But like I'll write out ideas for movies like nonstop, like just in my notes on my phone, or like I'll have like a notebook at home, but just like different like concepts of like a movie and shit like
dope.
that.
Yeah, once we get our budget together, bro, we're gonna have to work with him on setting up the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
I'm super
he
down.
does
Oh,
that.
okay, cool. Perfect then, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so
I've done like photo shoots for people. I'm not a photographer,
Yeah.
but like I've done photo shoots for people. Like
Yeah.
I've taken pictures for like fashion shows and shit like that. Videography for some people. But like I don't label myself like
Sure.
I don't call myself like, oh, I'm a
But you know how
videographer, hit
to.
me up.
You
But
know
I
how
know
to.
how to do
Yeah.
it.
well,
that's
you know
dope.
what you are, and I just figured this out the other day, bro.
What?
And I think you're it too.
What?
So there's people out there that have like that thing that they're good at, that one thing. And I'm
Yeah.
always trying to think, what is my thing? We don't have it, bro. We're masters of none. Meaning we're good at like 20 different things, you know?
Yeah.
Like I could do this, I could do this, I could do
Yeah.
this. Like
Because I always tell people like, yeah, I have a camera and I have microphones, I have the whole
I
setup.
could design.
I could graphic design, but like I would never call myself a photographer or a videographer.
Yeah.
But like I do it for a lot of people. But I don't know. It's just, and a part of it is imposter syndrome, to where it's just like I'm not good. There's way better people out
I feel
there.
like I
for me.
haven't done enough. For
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But fucking, I'm more than down to help
Yeah,
you guys
that
on
was
anything. Really.
Sounds good, man. Well, shit. This was a banger.
This was a dope episode.
Especially
was
for our
it?
movie buffs. Yeah, I think like, man, a lot of good recommendations. We even gave people the plug as far as where they can see some movies as well. So hope everybody
Yeah,
enjoyed.
appreciate y'all watching. Shout out your Instagram again, bro. If you guys need any graphic design, videography,
Movie.
want to just talk movies,
Talk movies, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think, when is this gonna come out?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe before then, I might have a video out on YouTube.
Ooh,
Maybe.
do it.
Cool.
Because
It's gonna be out.
All right,
Drop
bet.
it.
Drop
it.
Yeah.
All right, so Nathan.McGeorge is my Instagram name.
Oh, yeah.
But from there, you'll probably see a YouTube link or something.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
And
cool.
we'll put it on when we're promoting yours. We'll
Yep.
put it on our story. Yeah.
Perfect.
So hopefully we see that.
Fuck
All
yeah.
right, dude.
So yeah, we're out.
Oh yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
This was fun.
Appreciate
I'm down
you,
to
bro.
do it again later. Like
For sure. We'll do
Oh, yeah,
more
dude.
movie ones.
Yeah,
whenever
we'll
you guys
definitely
need a guest, I'm down.
Bet, bet, bet.
Hell yeah. Sounds good, man. Well, thank you again. We really appreciate
Of course,
it.
yes.
Yeah, man.
We out.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.